Thank you so much, Colin. President Cyril Ramaphosa has met with his Tanzanian counterpart, President John Magufuli, in Dar es Salaam. This is President Ramaphosa's first state visit to that country. The two leaders discussed trade and political relations between the two countries. All right, for more now on the story, let us cross live to our correspondent, Daniel Kijo. Daniel, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on SA Today. As I said on my introduction, this is President Ramaphosa's first state visit to Tanzania. Talk to us more about what came out of the talks between the two leaders.
Thank you so much for having us. Well, like you said, it is a long time coming visit for the South African president with his counterpart, President Magufuli, considering these two countries share a long history from the 80s during liberation struggles until now. So this visit was mainly to boost their relationship and work together towards economic growth and improvement for the citizens of both countries. The president just came right now speaking with the business summit, where he talked about enhancing industrialization within the region and also within Tanzania and South Africa to ensure that he can create economic development for its people. He touched on improving relationship and the balance of trade between the business community in Tanzania as well as in South Africa. Now, we know that South Africa is one of Tanzania's biggest investors, in fact, in the top 5. And last year, the latest statistics say that trade between Tanzania and South Africa was $470 million. So clearly, you know, Tanzania and South Africa have a lot to do and a lot of business to be made. So it was a good visit so far, and both presidents are eager to align policies to improve lives for their people.
Of course, these talks comes just before the SADC Heads of State Summit. So what can we expect from that particular summit? I know the two leaders spoke a bit about politics regarding SADC as well.
Yes, the big issue is to be discussed or to be expected is in line with the SADC meeting theme for this year, which is all about creating a conducive environment for sustainable and inclusive industrialization, for job creation and intra-regional trade. So clearly, the focus of this meeting in the coming few days is going to be about facilitating policies that allow member states of the SADC region to industrialize rapidly and sustainably, as well as creating opportunities and policies that facilitate trade between the member states so that the citizens can get jobs and improve lives. So primarily, in a nutshell, that is what the discussions will be about.
Yeah, and of course, we've heard our International Relations Minister here at home, Dr. Naledi Pandor, saying that issues around peace and security will also be placed very high on the agenda of the summit. But most importantly, the finances of the region are also expected to come under the spotlight.
Yes, that is also an area, because finance is part of how you would facilitate the infrastructure development. We know the Tanzanian government has been putting a lot of focus on industrial infrastructure development, you know, building bridges and all the necessary tools to facilitate a nation that wants to rapidly industrialize. Of course, South Africa is a couple of decades ahead when it comes to industrialization. So financing these kind of projects and policy to facilitate trade definitely would be high on the agenda.
Yeah, but what are ordinary people in Tanzania saying, Daniel, regarding the summit and perhaps their expectations?
Tanzania has received the summit with open arms. Since the business week that started a couple of days ago, and towards this heads of state summit in this weekend, the public has been following closely. You know, the Tanzanian private sector has jumped at the opportunity to interact and trade with South Africans who are here today, as well as other people from other member states. We have seen a lot of sort of hospitality-based businesses, hotels, and similar business taking taking opportunity of the guests that have come. More than 2,000 people have come to Tanzania. We expect a little more to come over towards the weekend. So Tanzania have received the SADC summit and the heads of state meeting with open arms, and are using this opportunity to interact, to trade, and build connections that eventually could create opportunities for business.
Yeah, and I think one important area that's important for business and opportunities is that of tourism. We had the president there in Tanzania, John Magufuli, saying that through the plan that's been integrated, Tanzania would now be able to increase the number of tourists from various countries through South Africa as well. And we know that Tanzania does not really receive quite a huge number of tourists every year as compared to South Africa.
Yes, just to give you the numbers there, South Africa receives about 10 million visitors a year, whereas Tanzania now receives 1.5 million. So these are lessons that Tanzania is looking to learn from South Africa. We know that Tanzania has been making its own efforts to ensure they tap into the huge market. I mean, South Africans are the number one Africans who visit Tanzania. So when it comes to ranking in terms of visitors who visit Tanzania, South Africa's rank high. So to tap into that market, recently Air Tanzania itself, the government airline, introduced flight to South Africa. So this was a discussion that President Magufuli and President Ramaphosa touched on to learn from the high level of hospitality service delivery that South Africa has had for many years, and to transfer some of that knowledge to the Tanzanian hospitality sector. So this is an area that, yes, definitely Tanzania is looking to learn from.
Quite a significant number there, Daniel, 10 million as compared to 1 million. But we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for coming through. Our correspondent today, Daniel Kijo, joining us live from Dar es Salaam in Tanzania.